And the reason I mentioned markup is I still find, even with a lot of Onshape users, but especially outside of Onshape and just the greater CAD world, screenshots are like the communication norm when we're trying to identify things in a CAD model, whether it's in the drawing or the CAD model, the actual 3D model. If you want to know, is this hole diameter right? What a lot of people will do today is they'll take a screenshot using whatever CAD, whatever tool they have of their CAD system. They'll use some markup tool to point a big arrow at something. They'll save that out as a file. They'll create a new email. They'll attach the file to the email, and then they'll send that to someone. Right? That's the norm for a lot of people today. When we talk about collaboration, it involves in sometimes 2 or 3 different tools to just communicate. Is this the thing that I think it should be? So markup essentially eliminates one of those tools, right? And with Onshape, we want to eliminate all of the back and forth. No email communication, no need to go to a separate application to mark up the screen. We want to build all of that in to comments, right? As a collaboration suite of tools, so to speak. So markup allows you to mark up your screen with a native Onshape tool, right? Native Onshape function, no external tools needed, and share that image within a comment. And that's really important. We're, again, just going back to comments. Comments are the stream of communication within a document, and markup is really just a tool to get a image of whatever into that comment stream. So that's the way to think of it. Eliminate that screen grabbing tool. If we're talking about Onshape, it's built entirely into it. Now, I want to go into an example, but I think a good example of this is drawings. Now, I should stress you can use markup. You can use what I'm going to show you in a moment anywhere. It doesn't, parts, assemblies, drawings, it works all the same. But I think the most common example that I can think of in markups is marking up drawings, right? So let's take a look at that process. As I mentioned before, it's all integrated into the comments, right? So comments are kind of our hub for communication, and we have all these tools that are built on top of it to improve that experience. So adding markups is one of them. In this case, I've added a comment. I've said, hey, Neil, is this handle in the right position? Right? Because I'm questioning whether this handle over here is in the right position. But you can see it's not exactly clear by just the text alone. What handle am I talking about? Right? Which handle are you referring to? That's where markups can be really useful. So you'll see a little button at the bottom of the comment dialog in the bottom right corner that says markup, right? The way it works is you click that button and it takes you into markup mode, right? So here I'm just looking at the same thing I was looking at before, but the toolbars disappeared and I'm purely in this markup mode. Now you have a lot of different tools. You have lines and pins and circles and rectangles, and you can add text. So there's all the kind of traditional markup tools, and you can define colors and things like that. I'm going to keep things simple for the sake of time, and just add the basic arrow. And by default, you have a red arrow, the most common of markups. And so if I want to just say, hey, this is the handle I'm referring to, just point a big red arrow at it, right? This is something, again, that I would do in some other screen capture or markup software, but in Onshape, it's built into that comment experience, right? And so now I have this markup that I've added to my drawing. I hit the green check, and now it adds that as an image to my comment, right? And so it actually attaches it as an image as part of the comment. So now I have this comment where it's assigned to Neil, and I've pointed out the handle that I'm referring to in the comment with a markup. As soon as I hit assign, you'll see it added into the comment stream, and it adds my markup. So I, as Neil, I can come in, click on this, and I get a full screen view of the thing that they're trying to convey to me. So if I have all kinds of text and screens and all kinds of rectangles and circles, they're going to see all of that as part of the markup process. And so this just, again, takes what would be 2 or 3 tools and boils it down into a single place. And again, that comment stream remains with the document. It remains part of the history, so to speak, of the document, in the sense that you can see everything that took place in a single environment without having to go to email, to markup tools, to screenshot software, and back and forth. So that is markup. Question: can you see sketches in follow mode? I believe the answer is no. I can try that at the end here. Can you use markups as part of the checking process? Absolutely. Yeah, you could, as part of the release process, you can use markups as a tool to comment on releases and so on. That's where I'd argue it's probably most common, is part of the release process, where you release a design, a manager comes in, or some other person comes in, marks up the drawing, and that's part of the relayed package that goes back as part of the exception or rejection of the release. So markups, very, very popular tool. Again, something that require a few different applications in traditional scenarios. More importantly, though, it's all within the document. So I could go back to the very first comment in the document and see this stream of information that's just been communicated back and forth, and it doesn't live in this silo environment in an email server. So that is markup.